Hello everybody, and welcome back to another What If Civilization Started Over video. And today, we are going to be looking at some more What If Civilization Started Over. As last episode, we saw this country right here get divided up. So, this one got divided. We also saw the creation of an alliance right here to keep the powers nearby out, and it's the Right Triangle Alliance between Sri Lanka and these two other countries, as well as this pink country, and technically their puppet. And we also saw some other stuff happening that was more uneventful, but the gist of it is stuff happened, and we saw the Australian Empire Civil War begin and end, and we also saw foreign powers help the Civil War, which was good, depending on whose side you were on. But this episode, we are going to be seeing some stuff happening, and first off, we are going to be seeing something happening with the new dictatorship over here in the brown team. Remember, they just got hired, and they're going to be invading the country. Well, you might be saying, well, since the guys surrounding them are all in alliances, then who are they going to take over? Well, they're going to take over the weakest alliance, of course. And first, they're going to consume their puppet. So, they're just going to march in. And they're fine with this, but the rest of their alliance is not. So, meanwhile, wow. They take over all that. And last time, we saw them take over 3 provinces from this country. And they're going to use that to invade up into the rest of the north and make an offensive right here, as well as right here, and march in to this purple team. And it's getting kind of bad, as this is the strongest out of all of them. So they are going to be able to hold up, and especially with help from outside areas, they are able to push back on this side. And they are able to push back the armies, except for in the south and a little bit in the north. And we're going to be seeing more. And now we see them march in even more and take over some of these areas right here. As well as make some gains right up there. But eventually, they are able to push back a bit into here. As it wasn't really well defended. And then we could see the movement of troops falling back through this place. Thus, this area gets taken back. And now, all that is back. But down to south, it continues to get a little bit worse until they need to send some troops back up, as they have now marched further through here, farther than they would have wanted. But they're going to start, they capture this big city, but now they're going to get bigger military. They had enough to take over this team. They just weren't going to use it. But now they realize that they're going to need to. as they march forward even more this time. Just like this, and up here. And then they eventually are able to retreat back to their own area and start taking over some of this area back, as well as the major city. So it gets to about this point where then they get help from, and I might have not already guessed, but I'll just tell you, and it's going to be the Korean Team Alliance, and they're going to help this country only because they want to get rid of the Brown Team and their alliance, the Red Team's alliance. So as they're getting more aid, they are able to push them back down to here and capture the water back and the sea access, which is going to do greatly for them. And eventually, even this country will get its old lands back of this province. Now we see the fall of these, and we see some of these troops go back into this area. We mainly see these troops make a re-emergence right down here, connect these two areas, and eventually make it up to here, just like that. And now they both probably have an equal amount of territory gained, so they're kind of going back to how it was, but then it gets split off. And now the Brown Team is kind of facing collapse. What's going to happen is they're going to sign a treaty saying they get Sri Lanka. So even though it just became a thing and then revolted, it is going back into their territory with the new leader. So, I mean, I guess it was kind of pointless, but for the story, it's not. And it gets interpreted into their own place. Now we're going to take off major cities for it. And now they're back as part of the Brown Team's territory. And now we see that change. And then, right after that, we see this country annex this country and their exclave. So, that is a very big note. As they now have a ton of sea area, and which is going to help because they were about to fall apart. They couldn't really defend themselves without the alliance. The alliance is pretty much gone now because the smaller country not here anymore, so we can get rid of that. Sri Lanka not here anymore as well. We can get rid of that. And then we see the full admittance of the puppet state into the alliance. Make it seem like it's more of a powerful alliance when it's really not. And with these small countries, these ones that also broke off from this inner Chinese country are going to come back, and they're going to join this alliance, which makes it barely stronger because they're fairly weak. And I want to point something out, that the most neutral country in the world is this country right here, this little pink Japanese country. They're the most neutral in the world, and a lot of people respect them for being so neutral. But, like I said, America was neutral, but they're not like as neutral as them. And now we're going to get back to something the AN, and we saw a little bit of a reemergence of it, as well as some countries getting rid of it. Thailand is now going to completely get rid of it. They don't have a reason to be in it anymore. So it's gone. Just like that, and so they're not in it. And we also have to get rid of the ones for Sri Lanka and all the non-existent countries, as well as these new countries over here from last episode I didn't do, and the ones down here. So, first of all, the main ones of these, the two smaller ones aren't going to join. Well, the more important one is, and up here, the only one that joins is the blue team, and these both blue teams. Meanwhile, the other ones don't. And so it gained some members technically, but it gained less percentage of the world that are in the AN. And now we see something that's been happening a lot to this country, but it's going to be that this dark red country is going to get land taken away from it, as this large province up here gets taken away, as well as this province right here and this province. And now something's going to happen, and that's going to be a new country. And now we can see this new country being formed, and it was like a rebellion that happened, but it wasn't as big of a rebellion. I mean, it wasn't big enough to show you, but basically it just split in half and declared independence, and they said okay. So now it's a thing, and it's going to make the red team mad. But what's also going to happen is, the main reason that it makes it mad is that it's not a puppet anymore. It got rid of the puppet stuff. So it's not a puppet, it's its own thing, which is going to be pretty cool. And we can see new stuff happening with that. And now we are also going to see another thing happening, and that's going to be up here, as we're going to see this country going, and they're just going to basically annex this other country. They didn't really stand a chance at all. They were very weak, and they basically decided to join them, but not like so they got annexed. Just like this. And now this Canadian country is pretty big, and it has a very strong economy, but a horrible military. And they're going to be working to make a bigger military. And what they're kind of doing is, like, one of the first big missions they've done is they blockaded this area from the Cyan team. So they're like trying to get the Cyan team out of here like this. So we'll see how that works, as the Cyan team is very strong. But it'll be very good for them if they can complete it, because that will show the world that they're kind of strong, even though they're not there. But next we see another thing happening, as over here in Russia a major event is going to be happening, and that is going to be something happening in the middle of their country. And no, it's not another revolution. We just had like 3 of those. But instead, it's going to be something a lot bigger and better, as they produce about a whole area of missile silos and nuke facilities, and it's like all in this area, so that'll help them with some of their stuff. But they're going to up production, and we're going to see what the world's nuke count is now. Okay, and starting off the nuke count, we're going to go down to the Old Empire, or not Old Empire, that's from Aegis Pro Series, but the red team, and we're going to look at how many they have. And right off the bat, we see that they have about 70 nukes, but it's really closer to 68 nukes. There's just a Russian report that said they had 70, but it was not true. Propaganda, as we all know, they are very capable of. And they're going to go up from 28 nukes all the way up to 39 nukes. And that's going to be very big for them, as they're mass producing with that new area that they just got. So they made about 11. Not as much as the Old Empire, they made way more. And Baltic Union is going to go from, like, they had 5, and now they're going to go up to 6 nukes. They're still going to be making nukes, just not as much as some of the other countries. And now we go over to Ireland, and the Cyan Ireland has been a very major player in history. They've been one of the most important players, including with the brown team, but the brown team's not here anymore. But they're like one of the most important players in all of history. And they're going to go all the way up to 16 nukes, which is going to be very cool and good, until they go down and talk to the Spanish team, and they figure out that the Spanish team has not as much, but they're getting very close, with 15 nukes, which is already a lot. Next, we look all the way over here at this team, as they've already gone into mass production, the brown team has, and they're already at 20 nukes, which is a lot. Then we go over to the Korean team, and we see they don't have 23 nukes anymore. They actually have 27 nukes, or not 27, 37 nukes. And now we're going to see something new, and it's going to be telling you how many they have on other people's territory. And they have 6 nukes in other territory, and 2 of them are going to be here. Just like that. And the other 3 are going to be in Malaysia, because they're basically an active combat zone. Just like this. And now we see something, and that's going to inspire the red team to have some, all their allies already have like their own nukes, which is a problem. So they can't really give any. But they are going to figure out a way, because when there's a will, there's a way. And they eventually give them to the green team. And we're going to rewrite that, and 68 nukes with 4 in the green team. And then we will see 4 in the green team. And that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed, please show your support, and I will see you next time. Bye.